guys, and welcome back to my channel. I wanted to share a fun product with you today. This is the Xyron 900 laminator, and I have used this type of laminator since probably we started homeschooling. And one thing that's special about it is that it's a sticky or adhesive laminate as opposed to a heat laminate. So I'm going to kind of show you how I use this, some tricks I have to save you on laminate material, and then kind of the options that come with this particular machine. So let's take a closer look at how I use it. Alright, so here's the ezLaminator, and you just open this side and put your papers in, and then using the crank bar over here, just roll them through. Now this has a couple different options for you. Like I mentioned, it's got permanent adhesive, which I don't use very often. It's got the regular two-sided laminate, and then it's got this magnetic laminate as well, which this is one of my favorite things about it. So here's the machine. It's fairly easy to unload. You just open the back of it, and then there's a button right here. You just press that button and lift it up, and then the cartridge slides out, and you can just replace it with another cartridge. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is a laminate. So I am going to use this cartridge. It's just a regular double-sided laminate. And you just snap it back together. But let's go ahead and show you how I would laminate something. So I have a couple of my printouts here, and I don't want to waste laminate and run through each one on its own. So what I do is I just put them back to back so the print side is facing out. Open up my laminator here. And actually, I'll try and turn this to the side so you can see it a little bit better. And then you just put it in the back here, and then using your crank, just crank it through. And then as soon as it comes out the front, I usually take a look at it here, and there's a little trimmer, and you just slice it off, which makes it really easy. And then you've got laminate on both sides. Now my trick for that, get this out of the way really quick here, is now I can go and just trim off these edges, and I would usually use a paper trimmer if I wanted it to be straight, which I'll show you in just a second. But I just trim off my edges really quickly, not even really being careful here. And then as you can see, I've got laminate on one side but no laminate, and they just come right apart. And since it's sticky laminate, it makes it really nice because it's not going to come off or separate from your paper, because it's essentially like putting like a giant piece of, you know, clear adhesive or tape on the front. So that makes it really nice, so that then when we go to cut apart these pieces, the laminate won't come off. So let's go ahead and do that. And I usually just use my little Fiskars trimmer here, and use it upside down, but and then I would just go through and just quickly trim off these pieces. It's also a little bit more lightweight than some of the heat laminate, which I really like, because it's not so thick that it's gumming up your machine or your sticker or your scissors or anything like that. And it makes the pieces a little bit more they're still durable, but they're not super thick. And the other option here is to use scissors. And this, like I said, it's nice and thin, so it's really easy to use on scissors. But as you can see, as I'm cutting out these little pieces, my laminate's not coming off at all, but they don't tear quite as easily. Now I printed these on regular copy paper just to save money, but you could easily put it on cardstock, and that would make it even more durable. And then your students can go through and play the games. And then you can just kind of keep these pieces in like plastic baggies or something like that and reuse them. So let's see here, let's finish our activity. All right. And so now I've got laminated, more durable pieces. I saved on laminating because I did 2 pieces at once. Here's my other piece, and then I can just go and cut all those out as well and have nice, more durable pieces. So that was one way of using this. All right, so the other cool thing about this machine is, say that I don't want to do a sticky laminate, now I want to do a magnetic laminate. All I have to do is remove this cartridge. I haven't wasted any of my laminate or anything. And then I can just put in this one. And now I can move on and do a magnetic piece. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so now we have, So now we have this nice laminated on one side but magnetic on the other side piece, and this is fairly flexible as well, kind of like their laminate. It's not super thick, and so I can go ahead then and cut this apart. And then I will have a nice magnetic puzzle for my child to do, and they can put it on any kind of magnet sheet, magnetic whiteboard or a cookie sheet or anything like that. And I find that magnets for puzzles are actually really nice for younger kids because the pieces can kind of move around, and if you're just doing this as like a laminated piece, and it can get kind of frustrating for little kids who are trying their best to, you know, put something and have it stay and then match something to it. So I like to use the magnetic adhesive for that. I've also used it for my greatest artist puzzles as well. You can use it for just about anything that you want to create a magnetic surface for. And like I said, as you can see here, my Fiskars cutter here is working really well to trim it. They're not very thick, but they are still durable. And then you've got magnetic puzzle pieces that your child can then put together and work on as, you know, often, as many times as they want, and reusable. You can just store these in like a Ziploc baggie or whatever and put them in with all of your other preschool, school kind of games. But that's just another fun use, and this makes it really nice. Like I said, these are flexible, and since it's sticky, it's not going to kind of come apart or come off. It's sticky on both sides. So you essentially just did a nice big sticker, and it's magnetic too. So that's really cool as well. All right, and then one last thing I want to point out is that you can put through smaller pieces. So say you have something that's not like an entire sheet of paper, like I have this puzzle that I've made a little bit smaller. And I just want to run it through here, but I don't want to waste an entire piece of laminate, like when my heat laminator. I can just stick it in, and then as soon as it comes out, I can get as close as I can to that edge and kind of cut it off right there where I want it. So I'm not wasting any laminate, whereas opposed to when you have the heat laminates, you do have to use like an entire sheet to roll it through your heater, and as a matter of fact, the heater usually rolls it through on its own, and so that makes it kind of nice. You can put smaller pieces through here, and you don't feel like you're wasting your money. And you can even put several pieces, like if you have something that's already pre-cut out, you can just kind of arrange them as closely as possible together on there as you're pushing them in, and then when you pull them out, just cut them apart, and then like I said, because it's sticky, it won't come off. So one other fun feature that this machine has is the capability of taking a smaller, this is a 5-inch cartridge, and all you do is open up your machine back here, and then there's this little clip in here, and you just slide that up, and then you can slide this shorter cartridge in here and shut the machine, and then you use it just like you would the regular, only as you can see, hopefully you are only using a small cartridge. So you can use that for smaller projects as opposed to having to buy a larger laminate for larger projects, wasting laminate if you have something really small, or buying a smaller one for smaller things. So this is kind of like a 2-in-1 in that sense. So that's kind of a fun option, and of course the 5-inch laminate cartridges are also less expensive than the larger ones too, so that's a nice option. So this is basically kind of the setup. The permanent adhesive comes with, it looks like 40 feet of material. The double-sided laminate comes with 60 feet, and then the magnetic laminate comes with only 10 feet because it is thicker, and so I do kind of use this a little bit more sparingly, save it for special projects and that kind of thing. And then the 5-inch cartridges come with 18 feet of laminate. But I really do recommend this product if you're looking for a good laminator that has a lot of flexibility. All of these things are sold separately. It does come with a shorter, I think it's about 12 feet or something, in here with the machine, and then you would have to purchase these separately as you went along. But either way, I think as far as investing in our homeschooling, this has been a good investment, and I definitely really like this product. Alright guys, so that was my video on the Xyron 900 Laminator. I hope it helped you out if you guys are looking for a laminator. I definitely suggest this one. These can be a little bit pricey, however, I think that it goes a long way in saving you cost on laminate. And then I always get my laminate refills from Joann's or Michael's, and you can use a coupon on those, which makes it more affordable as well. And like I showed in the video, you can laminate small pieces since you're rolling it through as opposed to using an entire sheet of like heat laminate each time. So I really like this one. I think it's very realistic for our family. I have used this kind of laminator for years, and I love it. So, and just to make this video even more fun, I actually have one of these laminators to give away to one of you guys. So there's going to be a link in the video blog, the description box below. So make sure you click that, head over to my blog so that you can enter to win. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at erica@confessionsofthehomeschooler.com, and if you'd like to see more helpful homeschooling tips, make sure to subscribe at the link below. And if you have any other ideas for Tip Tuesdays, please make sure to comment below or send me an email. I would love to hear them. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.